Jade and Tabitha are trapped underground right now, with monsters closing in on every side. And the episode about to drop is officially the longest episode in the history of this show. 90 minutes. That is not a normal finale length. And once you understand why MGM Plus needed that much time, this entire season starts to look very different. Boyd's plan to save this town has already cost him everything he has left to give, and the official description for episode 10 says his quest reaches a terrifying crossroads where nothing will ever be the same again. That is not marketing language. After everything this season has put these characters through, that warning means exactly what it says. Fatima is transforming into something no one in this town has a name for. Victor is locked away, while his own brainwashed father is being turned into a weapon against him. And somewhere out in those dark tunnels, the talisman that was supposed to protect Jade and Tabitha is gone. Season 5 has already been confirmed as the final chapter of this story, which means this finale does not need to wrap anything up neatly. It can end on the worst possible note and let everyone sit in that horror for months. Let's go through exactly what this episode is about to do to every single person left in this town. The first thing fans need to understand about episode 10 is the runtime, because that single detail changes how this entire finale needs to be read. 90 minutes is not just longer than a normal episode of this show. It is longer than every single episode this series has ever produced across 4 full seasons. The most logical explanation for that runtime is that the writers needed space to resolve a crisis that cannot be rushed, and the official synopsis backs that up directly. Boyd's quest to lead the residents home reaches a terrifying crossroads, and the synopsis is blunt about what comes after that crossroads. Nothing will ever be the same again. That phrase alone should worry every fan who has followed this town since season 1, because this show has never used language like that lightly. The evidence strongly suggests that whatever Boyd discovers or decides in this episode is not a small twist. It is the kind of event that reshapes the entire direction of season 5, before that season has even been written. The most immediate crisis fans need answers on is what happens to Jade and Tabitha in those tunnels. The previous episode left them trapped with the talisman gone, and the creatures already stirring around them in the dark. Fans watching this season closely understand exactly what that talisman represents. It has been the only thing standing between the people of this town and the monsters that hunt at night. Without it, Jade and Tabitha are not just lost underground. They are completely exposed to the one thing this town has spent 4 seasons trying to survive. The most likely explanation is that Boyd's entire plan for this episode revolves around getting back to that talisman, or finding some other way to protect them before it is too late. In that decision is where the title of this episode becomes important. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it still make a sound? That riddle has haunted philosophy for centuries, and the evidence suggests the writers chose it deliberately to ask a much darker version of that same question. If Jade and Tabitha disappear into those tunnels, and nobody in this town ever learns what really happened to them, did their sacrifice mean anything at all? The most logical conclusion is that this episode is building toward a moment where someone in this town makes a choice that nobody else will ever know about. And that choice is going to define what kind of person they really are when there is no one left to witness it. However, the danger underground is only half of what this finale has to resolve, because Victor is still locked away, with the horror unfolding around his own father. Fans need to remember exactly what Henry has become. He is not simply confused or manipulated in a normal sense. He has been brainwashed into something the show has framed as genuinely dangerous. And Victor is the one person standing between his father's transformation and whatever Henry is about to be used for. The evidence suggests that Victor's escape cannot wait until the next season, because the official synopsis makes it clear this entire episode is racing toward a crossroads that the show intends to resolve now, not later. If Victor does not get out of that room in time, the most likely outcome is that Henry is pushed past the point where anyone, including his own son, can pull him back. And if that happens before the credits roll, episode 10 is not just ending this season on a cliffhanger, it is ending it with a loss that season 5 will have to spend its entire runtime trying to undo. But none of that compares to what is happening to Fatima inside Colony House, because her transformation is no longer something Ellis can quietly manage behind closed doors. What is happening to Fatima inside Colony House has stopped being something her husband can hide from the rest of this town. Fans who have watched her condition unfold across this season already know how far this has gone. Her hair has been falling out, her body has been changing in ways that no one in this community has a name for. And the most logical explanation is that whatever force is driving this transformation does not slow down just because the finale has arrived. It accelerates. The evidence strongly suggests that episode 10 is the moment Ellis finally runs out of room to keep protecting her in secret, because a transformation this far along cannot stay contained inside one house for much longer. Fans need to understand exactly what kind of decision Ellis is facing right now. He is not choosing between two comfortable options. He is choosing between trying to physically restrain the woman he loves, or accepting that she may already be too far gone to save in the way he wants to save her. The most likely outcome is that this decision does not get resolved quietly. Given the runtime of this finale, and the synopsis warning that nothing will be the same after this episode, the evidence points to Fatima's transformation reaching some kind of breaking point that forces the entire town to confront what has been happening inside Colony House, whether they are ready for that truth or not. And if Fatima fully transforms into whatever she is becoming, the consequences for Ellis go far beyond grief. It means the man who spent this entire season trying to protect his wife in private becomes the one person who has to decide what happens to her in public, in front of a town that has already lost so much trust in each other. That same kind of impossible choice is waiting for Elgen at the diner, where he remains trapped with the shape-shifting man in yellow. Fans have spent this entire season trying to understand exactly what the man in yellow represents, and the most logical conclusion, based on everything this show has built so far, is that he is not simply another monster wandering the forest at night. He is something closer to a test, a presence that seems to study the people trapped with him rather than simply attack them. The evidence suggests that Elgen's survival in this finale depends on something smarter than running or fighting. It depends on whether he can outthink a being that has clearly been doing this far longer than any single resident of this town. And if Elgen does manage to escape that diner before the episode ends, the most likely explanation is that what he learns inside those walls becomes critical information for whatever Boyd is planning next. This show has made it clear again and again that knowledge about these creatures matters just as much as physical survival, and Elgen may be sitting on a piece of that knowledge without even realizing how important it is yet. Meanwhile, the synopsis for this finale keeps circling back to one central idea, that Boyd's quest to lead these people home is reaching its terrifying crossroads. Fans need to sit with what that phrase actually implies. A crossroads is not simply another obstacle. It is a moment where the path forward splits into two directions that cannot both be taken. The evidence strongly suggests that Boyd is about to learn something about this town's true nature, something that forces him to choose between the plan he has been building toward all season and a truth that makes that plan impossible to finish the way he intended. If that theory proves correct, the most devastating outcome is not that Boyd fails. It is that Boyd succeeds at something, only to discover that what he saved was not actually what he thought he was saving. And with Season 5 already confirmed as the final chapter of this entire story, this finale does not need to resolve that crossroads cleanly. It can leave Boyd standing at that fork in the road with the screen going dark before he or anyone watching at home gets to find out which direction he chose. What that choice means for everyone left alive in this town is the only question that matters going into the season's final stretch. And the answer might be more terrifying than anything the forest has thrown at them so far.